So, happiness and wisdom, that is the series we have started in this new year. The knowledge from satsang will benefit the seeker only with an emotional resilience. Last session we discussed that duty versus right. So it is all about thought, speech, and action. The thought recognizes it is my duty, I have to do it. Come what may. The guy in front of me doesn't like me, but I have to perform my duty. And if you do that, the life will change completely. Life will change completely. The first level. It is possible, then what will happen? You'll be able to recognize the bad people may follow the right value in some event. So I have to appreciate it. And good people may follow some wrong value. It's okay. That needs to be understood, and that can only be realized and recognized when you are doing a satsang regularly. That is what we covered in the last session, and you already remember the first 8 steps I have to follow in order to reset the value. But and this value should continue in our daily life until we reach to the pinnacle of our evolution. And we also discussed that there are 3 factors. You're already doing a karma yoga. Your life is changing, behavior is changing, attitude is changing, you are evolving. You always live into that higher state of the consciousness. And now comes the 3 step, the satsang. I told you the emotional intelligence. And the third is the 6 treasures. Satsang gives you the knowledge. We also understood that satsang, Brandy was saying that I like that, what I company of the real. But we have to dig deep inside. What exactly is satsang? In the beginning, I have been talking about listening, learning, principles of Eastern wisdom, contemplation and reflection, followed by the practice, all belongs to satsang. And another definition I gave you, satsang is the company of the real. Company of the real means the teacher has to talk, must talk, and especially the traditional teachers always talk. Traditional does not mean that you follow the cult, dogma, belief, and religion. No. We talk rationally. We help each seeker to approach near to the real self. In every session, directly or indirectly, by examples or by metaphors. Perhaps you might have been judging it, analyzing it. So, knowledge from the satsang will settle only when supported by the right emotion, right feeling. Emotion charges you, makes you capable to become a seeker, to continue the journey until the goal is reached. Many people, about 25 people were there, and many people have left. Let them leave. Teacher continues. May new people will join, let them join. So today we will understand what satsang is pragmatically, practically, rationally. what it does. So, one way of understanding today, and second way of understanding in the next lesson, and then we see where we are in the journey of the self discovery. You know? How to relate the real company. We say company of the real. So, how to relate real company when our thought, speech, and action, our behavior and attitude are not tuned to the real? What is your mindset? What will be a thought in your mind about me? Oh yeah, possibly a good thoughts supported by good emotions. What about the same mind? Do you have the same thought and a feeling and emotion towards your honey? We are trying to understand satsang in a totally different way. You will not find in the text. That is only the uniqueness of every teacher. So, how to relate real company? Do you relate in the same way to your mom, to your dad, to your parents, to your friends? No. What happens? What happens? It will take you to the higher level of a transformation once you understand and you start applying it. Today's session is very important. So, satsang simply, I have been telling you, listening, learning, contemplation, reflection, followed by the practice, and you experience the change in your behavior, attitude, and you have a thought, speech, and action, and ultimately you find the change. So, it is in a very simple explanation. I used to go to New York City. Oh, first time I could see the hundreds of skyscrapers. I have seen in India also, in Indonesia and other parts of the world also, but in line you have the skyscrapers. No city like New York City. So there I used to go to coach doctors, in about 15, 16 doctors of Columbia University. I did it for 2 years, weekly. Used to take a train from home to Penn Station, from Penn Station to subway, to reach to one doctor's home who had about 20th floor. It was a huge house. I still remember. I told you, Terry, you know him, Eli Markovici. He also suffers now from Parkinson. He has left his practice. So anyhow, what I'm talking about, main thing is the skyscrapers. We are trying to understand by a metaphor. We're trying to understand satsang by a metaphor. So that's why I am referring skyscrapers. Behind the skyscraper, there is a ground area on which it is built. Say, for example, I have a penthouse. Penthouse normally is on the top floor. I have a penthouse, but I forget the ground. I understand. Behind the skyscrapers, there is a ground area on which it is built. So we build our personality, our thought, speech, and action based on the penthouse, forgetting the ground. So satsang helps you to bridge this gap. Hold on, if you don't understand, you can listen to it again. Behind that skyscraper, what it means, can you guess? Let me tell you a little deeper. We build our personality, thought, speech, and action, behavior, and attitude on the ground or on the penthouse I own. How we build it, our personality. If someone asks you what you do, that is your answer to what you do is the personality number one. What you feel, what you have said to the other people is your personality number two. And your prarabdha and the past impressions, which is still sitting there, is the personality number three. And behind that is a ground area, it is the real self. How many times we integrate all the three with the real self or with the with the penthouse. I was looking into the dictionary. I don't know, Jerry, why it is known as a penthouse. It's a one word. But if you separate pent plus house, do you know what is the meaning of pent? Shut up. I don't know. Maybe because, I live in a penthouse, so I have a big ego. Shut up. No, I'm not. I'm not criticizing those people who have the penthouse. That is your personality number one. That is why I'm giving a metaphor of what you do. I do this. But I have a different feeling. Outside, I have already expressed what I do. But I have a different feeling at the level of personality number two. Have you ever experienced that? Crazy guy. And he is asking what you do. So personality number two already said that he's a crazy. No, I do, my business. But the personality number two respects the person who has asked the question. Yes, I'm into this business. I'm a builder. I'm a teacher. Have you ever noticed that? Your responses to the same questions are different. Have you noticed? Or it is the same. Or you are totally unconscious of what is happening inside. Then you are not a non-seeker. And the third personality, from where the personality number two and the one is expressed, is the prarabdha, the past impressions. That is our inherent personality. I'm still using personality. And the ground I'm using for real self. There is always a conflict of all the three layers. And if you dissolve all this conflict, you have found your ground. Your expression of penthouse will be full of humility. You have reset the value and your life will be very happy. Another meaning of pent is also confinement. You confine your thought, speech, and action into a particular territory. That is what the ego is. It's the same thing. So understand satsang, what the satsang does. Now, personality with the three factors and existence is one. What is existence? It is the real self. What is satsang? Company of the real self. But the three personalities with their own set of thoughts, feeling, and emotions gives the interpretation of what you listen from the teacher. And that is why it is taking a time. Did you get it? That is why it is taking a time. You go to the doctor, doctor says, uh, my friend, you have to take these pills for a year. Why? You have a chronic disease. It will not happen just with a few pills or a few weeks. Satsang, you have to recognize how long the treatment is. How long the existence is the real self, the ground. You have a penthouse in the same skyscraper. You have 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, or you have studio. Ground is real self. Ground is the same. I can say I own this particular area. Existence is the real self, unchanging, like the ground area. You have a penthouse, ground area does not change. You have a studio, ground area does not change. I don't see that. I don't discover that. I don't find it. So when I don't find it, I continue to move around in the 3 personalities, 3 layers, and that expresses my behavior and attitude all the time. I'm disconnected. Three, personality 1, how you respond to the people. So it is your thought, speech, and action. But what you have expressed and what you feel inside varies from the person to person, is it not? It changes. It changes. When you talk to me, when you talk to your honey, when you talk to your mom, when you talk to your dad. Second level. And the first 2 level has its dependency on the prarabdha, vasanas. That is what we are going to change. In there we have to reset the value. You are already there. So satsang, I told you in the last session, 3 days is required for a satsang, or 7 days is required for a satsang. You see, these teachers speak in a very cryptic language. You know, this text contains almost 1500 pages. And it says that only 7 days is required. So it means those 1500 pages you have to cover in 7 days. So what is in that 1500 pages? It talks in detail. You were upset? Why? Oh, because, my honey doesn't, agree with me. No. That is your first expression. Are you understanding? That is your first expression. What is your second expression? Are you getting it? And then what is the root cause of it? David, you get it? Pavel? Three layers. So those 3 layers, how they are expressed in behavior and attitude, is written in that 1500 pages. I have read twice, but I got only 10% of it. The way the master explains. I must admit. But whatever I get, it's a revelation. Oh, this is big. I'm not angry over the honey because he or she did not agree with me. There are many other reasons in the past. Many events have taken place. I have created an image. And that image expressed in anger or in hesitation or reaction. Forgetting the real self. What is the value? Thank you, honey. You give me an opportunity to evolve. It is so easy, but it is so difficult. You see, it is very easy to say, oh, you are giving me an opportunity to evolve. Ah, thank you. I need not to be up, but it is damn difficult. Why? Penthouse. My ego. Ego prevents me. So ego resets the value. Are you getting it? I think I'm trying to make you understand. It's in-depth psychology. Christina, you won't find in your modern psychology, even if you have 250 psychologists till it started. So what we say, the personality number 1, 2, 3. Why we say personality? It is constantly changing. And what is the meaning of persona? Christina knows. Mask. Mask over the real self. That penthouse is the mask over the real self. Ground area is the same. I don't refer to that. Why I'm not referring? Because that mask is setting the value, and then I express in thought, behavior, and action, and that is why I'm into anxiety, reaction, duality, conflict, and long list. To help seeker, the teacher helps you to understand this journey in the satsang. I believe that area at the ground cannot change. You see, that area is your third. When you look at, there are parking space, and there is a mini coffee shop, there is a gym area on the same ground. I tell you, casually. That is your personality number 3, deep inside. Ground is the same. Why shouldn't I be proud, even if I have a studio apartment in the same skyscraper? I own the same area. There is a reminder. No, I own a penthouse. Pent plus house. But don't build an ego by having a jealousy pent plus house. That will not work. So it's a very tricky. That is why it takes time. What he has. I have a good house, That's great. So that areas at ground cannot change. Number of floors can change. Size of the apartment can change. Areas within the ground area cannot change. What that means? My thought, my speech, my presentation, my expression, my behavior, my attitude will continue to change with the different people in the different event, but it is not referred to the real self. I am in ignorance. That existence is known as my real nature. And 3 personalities together is known as my apparent nature. Apparent nature. I don't want to say false because we are using it, even though it is false. Apparent nature, it is constantly changing. Personality 1 is outer, what I do, how I am recognized outside by the society, by the people, listen to you, and they make out what actually you are saying. They also judge. The way you have the personality too, others also have the personality too. And look at this, it's trying to be smart, Are you getting it? Did you? It's trying to be, but we don't say anything. But problem is that, I'm already accumulating the impressions. So the way my personality number 2 is expressing deeper inside, it is the same way the personality number 2 is expressing the same thing about you. Dennis, are you getting it? Very interesting. 1500 pages, I told you that I haven't only understood how they expressed, I only understand 10%. I must admit. Once a seeker, always a seeker. So, what about the personality number 2 and 3? You are keeping. Now the big thing comes. You will laugh at it. Personality number 2 is expressed. I'm a teacher. But you don't see my personality number 2 and 3. Why? I have a very strong password. I don't give you the password. Dennis, you're expert here. I don't give the password. Okay, whatever you have talked. This is the personality number 2 is expressing. Is expressing inside. Is password protected. Okay. So I'm not changing. Are you getting it? So it means the pleasure-based desire is still present in the personality number 2. If situation outside, person outside is according to me, then I will recognize. I'm going with Nick, Jerry, David, you know it. So I'm going with him that he will show me what the $10 million house in Phoenix looks like. He said, no, come on, I will show you, how I build it. I said, okay. So I'll have a good metaphor from there also. I'll talk about it. Personality number 3 is much deeper. So this value, when you reset the value and you listen, you listen to these. Now, first time you have understood the 3 layers and you will become more aware. That is what the satsang is. And gradually you can dig deep inside and you can find out, this is coming from personality number 3. I have no reason to react to you and still it has come. Let me dig it deep inside. Personality number 2 was silent. Okay, prarabdha. Past impression. Let me accept it and change. I need not to dig deep inside. So personality number 3, acceptance. This has to happen, it has happened. Finished. Satsang. Company of the real. So we are digging deep inside and ultimately we find here is the real. The moment you recognize it is a real, now how do you recognize you own a penthouse? I own a penthouse, at the 60th floor, where I used to go in 20th floor to this Eli Markovici. Such a wonderful person. Such a wonderful person that I never thought that I'm going on to the 20th floor. Why? Personality number 2. It is not that he picked me. I was giving a workshop in the New York City when I just came in 2007 and 8. Somebody arranged. Perhaps I met you, Terry, there also, yeah? In the same. And Eli Markovici was listening to me and he said, come to my house. Just walk. And then he proposed that, I'm going to invite those doctors and can you give me the talks and the practice? I said yes. And there I started the journey. So in his Eli, the personality number 3 triggered. Vasana has a good point and a bad point. It has negativity, it has a positivity, both. So 2 sets of impressions are there. So that positive set of impression perhaps might have inspired his mind. So his expression, come with me, start the program. We were totally unknown. Totally unknown. In the same way, I was totally unknown to the Terry. Can I forget Terry and Eli? No. Good people, good expressions. Good people, bad expressions, still I will continue with them. Bad people, good expression. Are you understanding? Are you getting a feel of it? How can I forget? Satsang. Satsang breaks all the three and allows your existence to manifest the best in you, the greatest in you, and the highest in you. Not depending on the penthouse. I'm trying to remind you. And the password protected areas. You open the password. You say anyone can access. Huh? Then it's like OpenAI, Gemini, yeah? Claude. They are open, freely available. With reference to the real self, when all the three are freely available, not password protected, you are evolving. You have already risen to a higher consciousness. That is the goal of the satsang, company of the real. Is not easy to pick up. Did you understand the entire mechanism? How they have understood, I cannot imagine. So only reason that I have those masters lived in the woods alone. They wanted to check what's happening. Oh, this is the first layer, this is the second layer, this is the third layer. And behind that there is a real self. If the real self bypasses, unprotected, ultimately, Dennis, it is AI. You label differently. There's a Claude, OpenAI, now our richest guy, see Elon Musk has thrown Grok. Yeah, Grok. China has started AI DeepSeek, but ultimately you see, the AI is at the root. AI is the root. And some of them are open source. Beauty of that is, open source means that password unprotected. Can I compare, Dennis? So you see, that is the area of the satsang. Satsang is so important in Eastern wisdom. My dear friend, what should I say? She sent me, I have attended satsang. First you understand what is satsang. Then only you can attend. You understand it clearly what is happening. So this is, today's lesson will help you understand the different areas. Oh, let me become aware. I have said that I own a penthouse, but what I feel inside, password protected. You see, it means if it is one, so personality 1 and 2 are 1. You are left with only 2. Do you see that? Now you are left with only 2. What you express, it has some reference with the personality 3, which is now 2. And now I see the reference point is the real self, that is the value. So if the value is right, I can bypass the personality 3, which is coming from the prarabdha and the past impression, but I will endure it because I cannot ignore it. Why you can't ignore it? Physically, we can compare it with the DNA. You know, the child DNA is taken out, and ultimately you can make out that which problem. I would say that he may be a potential diabetic, or he may be a potential, etc., etc. The same way. So they are expressed. So they are expressed and exhausted. They do not create an impact when we have only two personality. Reference point is the real self. How? Value. You are done. What happens? What happens if you start living like this? And I can bet you, your meditation will become so deep. You can go so deep. You just sit. Oh, I have to analyze all the three areas, and then I will follow the practice of meditation. Oh, your meditation will. The last point is more important, extremely important. What is that? So, three personalities: person 1, person 2, person 3. Think of not personality. So we are 3 in 1. Now this 3 in 1 getting influenced by the outer event, or it influences the outer event, person, relationship. Did you understand this point? If the outer event or a person outside or a relation outside causes you the stress, anxiety, duality, conflict, or the world outside, it means you are influenced. So who is influenced? Person 1, 2, 3. 3, forget about it, it accumulates the impression. Person 1 and 2. Oh, now I understand, He has a wrong image about me. I own a penthouse and he thinks that I am a beggar? Now think of it. Did you understand that? So we all have a person. 2 is very, very choosy, touchy. And no, I'm not going to talk to this guy, He doesn't understand me. No, you don't understand yourself. Problem is you don't understand. The person 2 has taken over you. Person 2 and 1 together is influenced, dictated, governed by the event outside. So you may say, I have a chronic anxiety or a depression or a duality or a conflict. Are you getting it? Recurrent. No, today also I'm into anxiety. Why? Oh, I reminded, my honey did not do any favor to me. And, he or she did favor to a client, and that client was very attractive. Now you see the story. The person 2 creates a long story. And there is no end to this story. No, after all, he's earning, get money, he's doing his business, let him do it. No, there is something else. This is very common here, I have seen it. And very common in India also. In a different way. Everywhere it is common. Are you getting it? Influenced or influence. You can only influence by right value. You cannot influence by a wrong value coming from the 3 personalities. So the next week we will understand what exactly happens at the surface level. Satsang leads to detachment. Detachment leads to removal of delusion from the 3 person. 3 in 1, 2 are password protected. We all have, we protect ourselves. Okay, let me pull on how long I live my life. But I don't agree. Person two. Anyhow, freedom from the delusion. And what the master is saying, that we will discuss next time. The moment your delusion from the person two is gone, mind is steady. Mind is steady. It is naturally focused. It is not going anywhere. I can promise you, my mind, mind is not going anywhere. Or it will go anywhere with the person number 3 occasionally. What do you experience? Peace and calmness. What is the next journey? Awakening and realization. Close your eyes. Anyhow, close your eyes. Eyes are closed and place, position, and posture. Being comfortable and carefree. In some session I remind you, that is also a part of the satsang. In other session, I simply say it. So satsang, that means that you picked up instantly. Being comfortable, being carefree, instant. Just where you set is there. You are not in your penthouse. And you remember the word pent plus house or penthouse. So you can say mentally shut up. So you are comfortable and carefree. Okay. And then you go further. 6 neighbors. Before that, you check being aware of the flow of the breath. The flow of the breath. Okay. Flow the breath, you check both the nostrils. Now you see that your person 1 and person 2 are merging together. Is that a flow of the breath? You have to link it. Associate it. Yes, my mind is not wandering anywhere. It returns. Even if it wanders, the next moment it returns to the flow of the breath. What it means. Person 2 moving with the person 1. What is the person 1? Is the intellect who says, I'm reminding you of the marriage, 2 marriages. It is illegal outside, it is legal here. And then you first neighbor the world outside. Now when the person 1 and 2 merge together and then they perceive these neighbors, I can bet you are totally a different person now. Second neighbor is the physical body. Third neighbor is the energy body. And I name it, and your mind keeps on reminding you, means mind is following the intellect. What kind of a value it is, or I can say the password unprotected. And fourth neighbor is the mind. I'm not saying anything, I'm just reminding you. Fifth neighbor is the intellect and the I thought. That I thought becomes the penthouse. That I thought, when it becomes the ground, you are there. You are grounded. That is why we use the word in meditation, mindfulness, that now grounded. Be very clear about these terms. And the sixth neighbor is the ignorance, and that is why Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Now the person 1, 2, 3 together is looking at the ground. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. That is the meaning of auspiciousness. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness for all. May there be Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. The auspiciousness which is already there, you rediscovered. And now start breathing deep, silent, slow. As you inhale, move the mind from the top center of the head to the tailbone, singing mentally Shanti. And as you exhale, deep, silent and slow from the tailbone to the top center of the head, Shanti. We have left the long, deep and the hissing breath because many people helps me to modify. One guy who is doing private sessions, he is totally obsessed with the breathing. He said, if I do the breathing, I enter into the calmness. But I have been trying to say him that you are purifying the mind. His mind is not resetting it. It becomes so obsessive. So any practice, any step creates an obsession, you are going back. He is highly intelligent, I would say. He is a tech guy. So you see in the last two sessions, I left that part. So teacher also learns experiences from the seekers. Continue deep, silent and slow. The word that I use for this step is the nyas. You already know it. Deep, silent, slow. Check that. The rhythm is maintained. The tone. The rhythm of the breath means it is deep, it is totally silent, it is silent and deep and slow, but your mental sound of Om Shanti continues. You start from one end, drop at the second, you start from the second, you drop at the one. Deep silence, slow breathing. The mind moves in the spine from the top center of the head to the tailbone, from the tailbone to the top center of the head. And Om Shanti continues. You sync all the three. Perhaps many of you may remember I used to give a metaphor of the traffic and the driver. Now leave this and drop Om Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers. It's almost an effortless journey. And now leave this. Look deep inside, move the mind inside the heart. Visualize the triangle and Om Shanti on the triangle. And the moment you find there is a sync, Move the mind deep inside the heart, core of your heart, singing as if you are pushing the mind deep inside. Mind seems to stop, drop shanti, and after that, do nothing. You're doing nothing, you see that? Now compare the metaphor, the ground. We never become aware of the ground. I have one bedroom, two bedroom, studio, penthouse. So it means we are always set our value with the three people. Two is password protected, and the one we want to show who we are. Quite interesting. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. How are you, Dennis?
It has been subject matter of my analysis and contemplation for quite some time, whether my outer expression and inner feelings are the same or different, and if they are different, then why, where that difference comes from. Today I explained it using the three personalities, and there is, I think, a lot of interesting points in these explanations, and I will have to rethink and recontemplate. But one thing that came to my mind is that these personalities, they eventually they have to be merged uh, together. It's like I think they have the term, the medical science have a term for the, I mean, traditional medical science has a term for a person with multiple personalities. I think it's schizophrenia or something like that. So this is something to be fixed. Uh, we have to merge these personalities together to see the real self. And my meditation was very calm and peaceful and deep. Thank you.
Thank you. I did not want to say that we all are suffering from the word that you used. You will leave me, how dare I? But yes, the another part is that it is not merging. Ultimately, we discover they do not exist. I made them exist. That is the big difference between the modern psychology or traditional medicine and the journey of the Eastern wisdom. They don't exist. Who are you? I'm Dennis. Finished. You told me the name and the form, and the person is gone. Finished. But it does not finish. Why you have asked where I live, where I go, why I meet that person, what is your business? The password protected person is created apparently. It is not there, but I made them appear. That is ignorance. How are you, David and Jay?
Thank you very much. That was excellent. I love the lesson. As you know, I love analogies, and I was trying to figure out where you're going with the penthouse, but it very accurately described, the layers that we as human beings have in our life and that present themselves on a daily basis. So it was very eye-opening. I had a very deep meditation. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. You are noting down. That's a good thing. Or even you can repeat listening and you can then note down in your time. Beautiful. Yes. Oh, penthouse. You are a builder, so it aligns with you easily. How are you, Jerry?
Very good, thank you. Uh, the takeaway for me is the value set with the real self, and then the only influence is by the real self. So,
Yeah.
and the focus of the influence or being influenced is to influence the mind always with the real self. That way, I just discard everything else.
Beautiful. Yes. You see that what you're telling, and my mind just prompted. There is an ocean, pure water. The wave rises. It contains all the three persons, and then it merges. But I continue to hold on the three. That is the problem. So you're watching any movie, maybe a romantic movie just now. Valentine Day has passed, and the mind creates. Can you understand? Mind creates that person two, person three, and then we are. Anyhow, that's a beautiful way to put it. That the real self, the value set from the real self. Values set by any of these three persons will continue to haunt you. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good, thank you. That password protected got me today. That was I was like, oh, I get it. I mean, you said it a couple of times, and then I was like, okay,
You want to
I'm kind of to
unprotect
this
it?
point.
You want to unprotect it in a group session?
I don't know. See, that's just it. I don't know if I want to unprotect it. Kind of to Dennis's point, like, what am I showing? What am I not? So anyway, that was helpful today. Thank you.
So, when you say, I don't know, you are already protecting it. You see. Good. How are you, Christina?
Thank you so much. The idea of the persona and the penthouse really landed. Ever since I was young, I remember feeling like this fake mask and interacting with the world and feeling exhausted but not naming it and understanding what was causing it. So it kind of aligns with the journey that I'm on now. I'm very appreciative of that.
Good. It's a beautiful. Do you see that what I'm saying, that I'm always influenced by the world outside, by the people, by the relationship. So it has to do with the three person in me. So the moment I recognize, you go dig deep inside, you contemplate and reflect, and ultimately we find they do not exist. And you have a big smile on your face. I have protected them. First, I created a false I, that is person 2. Then I created a protection. That is also the false I. That is the biggest problem. When women told me, I think a couple of years back, here only in Arizona, you have started talking about me, this is a privacy matter. I said, you told me everything. That's why I'm talking about it. What the heck you're talking? You told me everything. Oh, the privacy law, privacy law. I said, protect your information. I'm not giving you coaching. Finished. You told me everything and I'm just explaining it. Penthouse. This is quite interesting. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. Mine was calm, and it was thinking that why we created this personality 1 and 2, and then it was whether it is coming from the values that we have given in this world, and because it is the false I which is created, and is it because of that this personality 1 and 2 got created?
Yeah. You're asking a question?
It's a question.
Yeah. Can you ask it again?
I was just thinking in that during the session that why this personality 1 and personality 2 got created.
To evolve.
Is it big?
To change. Otherwise, the real self has nothing to do. It has no thought, no speech, no action at all. The moment I feel I am an individual, I am a limited individual. The person 1 is rightly created by the nature. But then what happens? I create 2 more to change, to evolve, to reach to that highest state to recognize that there is only the real self, to understand and experience there is only a ground, whether you have penthouse or pent plus a house or studio apartment. I saw the dictionary, pent means shut up. Almost it's like a confinement. I have a pent, I have this car, I live there. So this is pent plus house. So good. Did you understand? So just to evolve. Why? Who is asking the question? Can you say? Who is asking the question? Same person, one, two, three. So we have to give the befitting answer to the same. You are asking the question, but why you are asking the question? First ask, do you exist? And it is gone. We realize the real self. Very tricky, very, it demands lot of contemplation and reflection. How are you, Terry?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm good.
Good. Yeah, it's okay. Good. That's enough. And how are you, Sangeeta?
सर ये पर्सनालिटीज जो हैं ये एग्जिस्ट में बाहर लोगों के साथ एक
आवाज नहीं आ रही.
हेलो
हाँ.
आ रही है सर
हाँ.
सर ये बाहर हमें सोसाइटी में एक पर्सनालिटी और एक बना के चलनी पड़ती है हम अपना रियल सेल्फ शो नहीं कर सकते कि मुझे लगता है जैसे हमारी फैमिली में ही अगर मैं साधना कर रही हूँ तो आई कांट शो कि मैं साधक हूँ तो वो करेंगे कि तुम तो साधना करती हो तुम्हें तो गुस्सा आना नहीं चाहिए तुम तो ये हो तो तुम्हें तो ये
She is raising a very good point. Oh, you are a seeker, you are doing the practice, other people taunt you, and especially the near and dear ones, they taunt you that you are a seeker, you are doing meditation practice, you shouldn't be angry, you shouldn't be agitated. What answer you have? What answer you have? You have to find out. You have to find out. They are living in ignorance. You reach to a point where you need to show an act, reaction in anger. It is okay. But we have to reach to that state. That is one, but is it possible to do it? Yes. Person two is constantly digging you, nagging you that this guy, he insulted me. He did not recognize that I own a penthouse. I told him many a times. Did you understand the metaphor? I told him that I did not do anything, but he is still blaming me. So now how to stop this? So first person two, clear the person two. Then do the rehearsal. That this time if he says I will shout. Rehearsal, acting. Do it. Stop it. Jerry knows I did it to one woman. Yes, it is possible. You need not to worry. That is why I told you again and again, you start coaching or teaching, expressing yourself to the far ones. When you do with the near ones, oh, yesterday I saw that you were so sad, and you are telling me that happiness is your nature. The near and dear ones, in fact, they will prove to be a great helper to you. If they taunt you, if they point you out, yes, let them do it. The minus person too. Oh, I have still to evolve. That is a good pointer. I have still to evolve. I will just close it and then I will tell you